on. Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Mxiety. I'm on with Cypheroftyr.
Yeah!
Oh my goodness.
One heck of a year.
Hello.
So much growth.
How are you?
I'm
I'm happy to
great.
keep up the support.
I'm
Love
reading.
you and keep up the amazing work.
Oh, thank you so much, Dawnstar. You're so sweet. Thank you. Thank you for that resub, you wonderful human. 12 months. Once again, you guys, sorry for the little interruption. So I'm on with Cypheroftyr, and we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a fucking good time. That's what it is. Thanks for coming on, Tanya.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, heck yeah. Oh, hey, I know these two. Oh, hey, Lucid. Lucid, I totally can pretend that, like, Lucid heard that you were going to be on and was like, whoa, I need to be on that same week because we're totally competing. But that's not what happened. That's not what happened. He was like, hey, can I come on the show? And I was like, well, this is a date. And he was like, great, that date works for me. So he's going to be on Thursday.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Aw, Raving Sock Monkey, thank you so much for that host. You're so sweet. Thank you. What happened?
I should do that.
You're like, I should know.
Yes, I should host.
Okay, nope. I need to know the secret. Folks always hear the Discord chat when I'm on. Oh, I just mute the desktop.
Oh, I'm not that smart.
Yeah, you are now. You are now. You could totally be like, you guys, I found this brand new secret, totally mine and nobody else. Oh my gosh! 11 months narrative, I guess. Oh my gosh, I don't know any puns for 11 months. That's so funny, dude. I'm just excited to have you here. Thank you so much for 11 months. Thank you for those resubs. You guys are so sweet. Just 11 months. All right, Killer Gold, thank you so much. Also, oh my gosh, the exception. They've 8 months. All right, bring him out now, so we could talk and not be sub interrupted. You guys are so generous. Thank you. 8 months. I can't believe I know you guys for so long. That's so cool. Is it weird? Like, so you've been hi, Cowabunga. Hi. Let me say hi to everybody. Blushing Crafter. Hi, Raving. Hi, Dawnstar, Diana Moon. Hi, guys. Hi, guys. So nice to have you here. And then Cypheroftyr, that person. Yeah, hi. Remember the
yeah, you may get a bunch of alerts because of the concurrent sub thing that they rolled out.
Oh yeah. Well, it's okay. I don't mind. I mean, I don't actually mind. We just mute the thing and then everything works fine. No, I had a fucking question. I immediately dropped it out of my mind. Oh, how is it? So you've been on Twitch for a while now. Is it weird to see like those resubs that say like 24 months and stuff like that?
I think my longest sub is 20 months because
20.
I was in one of the first waves of the affiliate program.
Okay.
And then got partnered in November 2017.
Got it. Oh, those were the days when getting partnered was possible.
Oh, you'll get there. Don't worry.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. I always make jokes about it, but really it's okay. Hi, the exception, that resub, and hello, Cowabunga, hi, Propoke Noob, Lorne, hello. I'm so excited to have you guys here. Thank you so much. Mods are gonna be at their moddiest today. They know what's going on, and I just wanted to send you guys a little bit of extra love. But 20 months, so first time in... Okay, so the affiliate program, tell us your ways. Tell us what that was like. Because I started Twitch, affiliate was already a thing, and then I didn't know that people were upset about it. Like some partners were upset about it.
It felt, well, I've been actually streaming. I've had an account since 2013, I think.
So just in TV days.
Yeah, but I don't think I used it. It may have been 2013. Actually, I need to look. Oh, it doesn't tell me. Oh, my channel started November 15th, 2013.
Okay. Oh, it does tell you. How do you get this insider?
I clicked on my own name in the chat.
Oh.
And so now they rolled out the mod tools. So if I was a mod in the channel,
oh, it does say that. It does. It says I have over 1,000 messages. Well, that's good. That's good that I modded my own and no timeouts. Good for me.
Yeah, in your own channel. That's
in my own channel.
So yeah, now you can find out exactly when you started. So that gives you the create date of your account. Although I wasn't streaming.
Yeah.
Right, on 2013.
Same.
But I was around. I never thought I'd make partner. Affiliate was like, oh, cool. I'm at a threshold where I'll try it, see if people like it. because I've always had
We have a raid incoming.
hello
Sorry.
Raid.
Hello, Raid. The Mike James, thank you so much for bringing your folks here.
So I never thought I'd make partner. An affiliate was when they rolled out affiliate, it was like, hey, you qualify. It wasn't you can apply, because I think now you can apply to be affiliate as well as apply to be a partner.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah,
I think you qualify still. No, I think they just send you a letter and they're like, if you want to be affiliate, fill out this paperwork.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how it works, but it was like, hey, you qualified, you want to be that. It was the same thing of here, fill out your payment info so we know how to pay you.
Right.
And the button was there like in a couple hours, if that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, hey, this thing happened. If you want to give me money for streaming on Twitch, because I had like maybe half the followers,
Sure.
if not less, because they did that thing where it was almost like they view botted for you. It's like, oh, you like this thing and you made an account on the app, we're gonna auto follow all these people for you. So I had like weird spurts of like several hundred follows when they were doing that, and then it dropped off. So it was weird, but I'm the same person. I offer the same content. I'm not a different person on stream.
You didn't become like the light shines out of your ass now wherever you walk because you're a partner? No?
Oh God, no.
I was promised so many things.
They lied. I'm sorry. Well, it was, so I had applied and I applied again after TwitchCon. But I think when the folks that make the decisions get a chance to see you and talk to you and see what content you offer, see who you are as a person, I think that can help, because I applied again after TwitchCon and got it like in that November of 2017. And I was surprised. I was like, oh, that happened. And then I like updated my paperwork for the partner contract, and then the check mark was there like in 10 minutes.
Oh wow.
And that was very low key. I just like took a screenshot, tweeted out, hey, this happened, and then I ran away.
Shroomy Mixer Regs, thank you. Daddy Tiggs, thank you so much for the follows, you guys. And thank you so much for coming in with that raid. Mike, thank you so much for sharing your community with us. It is so, so awesome whenever somebody comes by and chooses to share their community with us. Shroomy, thank you. That's it. I just want to say thank you for those of you guys who didn't watch our interview yesterday. I was on Mike's show, so be sure to check out that VOD. And I'm a mental health streamer, and the main thing that I do is promote mental health advocacy through education and by holding interviews with other people who have a similar mission. And so here we are on tonight with Cypheroftyr. So if you haven't followed her yet, I hope this works, right? There it is. Yeah, there they are. There be some links. So it is working. Thank you so much for the hosts and the follows. You guys are so sweet. I'm going to shut off the alerts now. Please don't take it personally. I still love you, and all the visuals still bounce up and everything. It's just so that because poor Cypher can't hear it. So to her, I just stopped talking and look like a deer in the headlights for no reason. Sir Wolfie, thank you so much for joining the group. All right, got it. So like it was a thing back then. It was really cool. That's really freaking cool.
Yeah, and I've said this before, and I don't know if Lucid's still around the chat or not, but I never liked the fact that some partners got mad about affiliate. I always thought the requirements were way too low.
Yeah.
For anyone that doesn't know, affiliate, you only need 3 concurrents over 30 days, a minimum, and 50 followers. And to me, that's really low. That's not really...
Yeah. Oh, the concurrents aren't even over 30 days. The concurrents are over like a week or something. Like you just have to have 3 concurrent viewers for a lot of... It's like a week or something. And then 50 followers.
I thought it was 30 days. Or
maybe
it changed.
Maybe it's 30. I thought... Because I don't think it was... I feel like I got affiliate before 30 days of being on Twitch. I'm pretty sure.
Maybe, but it just felt like there wasn't a good metric, and I still don't think there's a good metric, because it's like someone can kind of part-time half-ass stream and get a sub button, but then I don't think a lot of people realize that's just more work that you need to do.
Right. A sub button is not a community. It's not people run for the sub button, but then if you don't have anybody watching you, who's subbing for you? I mean, but that's not what Twitch wants. Twitch wants, hey, as soon as you can, if you could start making money for us, that'd be great.
Right. And for those that don't know, you have to earn $100, which is really $200 because Twitch takes half.
Yep.
So there are people who have streamed, been affiliate for months before they see any money from it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just feel like the requirements could be higher. And
Yeah, within a week. There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Affiliate in 7 days. Sir Wolfie, freaking good for you, man.
So I just feel like the requirements for partnership could be a little more clear. There could be more timely review, because I know so many people that were hitting the partner quote unquote required numbers applied and then didn't get it because their
like they saw a dip. Yeah.
Like they saw a dip after the fact, or like if you're just close, you make it, and then you dip below, and that's when they happen to review your numbers. You know. So I don't know. I'm glad the affiliate program's around. I wish it had higher requirements to get in.
Yeah, I wish it was more of a thing. It seems like just part of being on Twitch. Like, here is, if you can do this, you can be on Twitch, basically. Which is, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
This is just, you guys, just so you know, this is not what the rest of the conversation is about. This is just our small talk while everybody's piling in. I did want to say thank you so much, Horror Affiliate. The more cuts they can, yeah, that's pretty much it, my Mixer. That's exactly what's going on. This is Monroe. Yeah, it's 3 within a week because it's 8 days streaming. Oh, it's 8 hours straight. Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Yes, you can have one super long stream and get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Making the partnership numbers is intimidating when you make affiliate. Yeah, I mean, from there it's like a far jump and a skip. But I mean, that's not really supposed to be the goal, right? The goal is not to like you don't make a video on YouTube to be a YouTube partner. Like, you make a video on YouTube because you want to make content, and it'd be cool if you could make money off of it. And you happen to be able to do that with the affiliate program, and like, that's awesome. But partnership is definitely a goal, but I think people treat it as like the end all. Like, this is when I arrive to Twitch, and it's not. I don't think it is. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I just feel like people have also bought into the misconception of what it's like to be a partner, which kind of rolls into our whole conversation. I think there's a lot of glamorization of being a partner.
Well, listen, you guys didn't have to stand in that 4.5 hour line at TwitchCon.
Yes,
I could, wait, your line was short, wasn't it shorter?
Not by much. If I didn't have an exhibitor patch, I probably would have missed my very first panel.
Yeah, I heard. That was the main benefit that I heard from a lot of people, because I was like, I stood for 4.5 hours. They're like, oh, I went right in. I was like, well, so that's a reason to be partner right there. Yeah, but numbers can be detrimental to your mental health. Game or create, have fun, build a community. Numbers are, hi, talk to me, hi. And Reichels, will do. Also, thank you everybody who subscribed. Jar Jar, Jafar, TD Bell, Balthazar, thank you for the bits. Thank you so much for that fucking support. You guys are absolutely amazing. I'm putting pressure on myself to make partner right now. Yeah, but that's exactly like you people go on to Twitch to make partner. That's what I feel like. That's the current kind of mental status of it, if that makes sense. I waited in line a little bit with you. You did, TD. You did, and you didn't have to. That was very nice of you. Hi, Lulu. Hi. You both deserve everyone's full attention. That's very sweet. Thank you. But okay, the whole part. So the partner thing. I mean, it's cool to have, right? Like, you don't need any of the fancy benefits. It's just nice to know, right? Doesn't it give you a little bit more legitimacy with companies and stuff too?
No. I still get turned down.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be that person that breaks the illusion of that it's so fucking cool to be a partner. I've gotten turned down more often for things.
Shit.
Just because you're a partner doesn't mean anything. A lot of people still are stuck on numbers. They don't care if you've got a check mark, if you're not pulling in 4 digits of concurrence, or you're not getting engagement. If I could transfer my Twitter numbers to Twitch, I'd be doing a lot better.
Yep. Yeah.
Because everyone thinks, oh, I'm going to get partnered. So I'm going to be real with you, and then we can get on to the topic.
Like actual shit. Yeah, go for it.
Because I talked about this, because I don't know who follows, I don't know his actual name, but L Lance on Twitter and Twitch does these video clips about like when people like whine about not getting partnered.
Yes, I love that clip. It was fantastic.
Yeah. Yep. And I riffed off that because so many people think, oh, you're a Twitch partner. Like, even the situation I've been dealing with. Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you, Lindsay. People think, but you're a partner. Let me tell you, Being a partner is more work. It's a step. It's not a goal.
Right.
And being a partner, because there's so many partners, it's not even quote unquote special like it used to be, where you needed 500 concurrents, you needed whatever.
Yeah.
You still need to be entertaining. You need to be personable, because I've seen so many people just have a partner badge and they've got this giant follower count, but then when you watch them, they've got not even 100 people watching. Maybe it's the time of day, maybe whatever.
Right.
But being a partner does not guarantee quality. It does not guarantee engagement. It does not guarantee that they're going to be a good fit for what you want to watch, because they're people, I adore them, I support them as much as I can, but they play games I just have zero interest in.
Right.
And there's some people I'm going to watch them no matter what they're doing, like unless there's a couple games that are just on my no list regardless.
Right.
I'm gonna watch them because I like what they do, I like what they talk about. I'm gonna pick on Lucid if he's still around. Lucid plays
just
a lot
pick
of
on
games.
Lucid because we can. Yeah, go for it.
Well, I mean, Lucid plays some things that I have zero interest in.
For sure.
But I like what he talks about for the most part. I like his morning talk show thing.
Yeah.
And I hang around for that, even if I'm not into the game that he's playing. So there are other people like that where I'm just not digging the game they're playing, but I like what they have to say. And then there's some people that just do talk show, they just do podcast, and I'll at least have them up to give them a view. But being partners, not the be all end all, because there are people who think, oh, well, you're partners, surely you must get deals, you must get partnerships. I've got a few affiliate things happening, but they're not like, no one's, DX Racer's not knocking down my door. Nobody's handing me a bunch of, nobody's throwing free product at me or deals or whatever. I'm not getting hosting gigs. You still have to get there.
Yeah.
Because that check mark, just like a Twitter blue check, if I ever get one, is not a guarantee that my content is for everybody or is that great.
Well, that's the big thing, is that people will say, like, I can't believe this person is partnered. And I do get struck by that, because like some of the toxic content that you've seen, and then you'll see it's somebody that's partnered, and you're like, holy crap. Like, I genuinely think, and probably wrongly, that, that partnership is an endorsement by Twitch being like, hey, we're up for what this person stands for. And then you see some of the toxic shit that people will spew out, and they happen to be partnered, and you're like, well, I guess that's not what it is. It's just the numbers then. And that's kind of a bummer.
I mean, it is. And there are people where I watch them and I'm just like, okay, maybe it's just not for me. But if they're pulling in the numbers and whoever makes the decision at Twitch said yes,
right,
I've got nothing to say about it.
Right.
But just, there's millions of people on this platform. I can't, and I don't have to watch everyone.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're not all gonna be for you, and that's totally cool. Yeah. You guys, thank you so much for sticking around and for talking to us about all this silliness. I understand in like terms of like stuff that we talk about on this channel, partnership and Twitter and like views and stuff is not top priority. So I do get that. So let's get to the nitty-gritty. Hey. So Cypher, I guess we'll start at the beginning. So what's your interest in mental health specifically?
It's important to me because like I'm older, Black female growing up in the US. A lot of times there's a lot of, we don't talk about that, as in that's not a thing that Black folks do. We don't talk about therapy. We don't go to therapy.
Yep.
And I've all my life experience that there have been times where I could have benefited from therapy and didn't do it till I was much older.
Yep.
And being a streamer, being a public person, there's a lot that can affect your mental health, because a lot of times I don't think people realize that you're performing, whether or not you are actively putting on a persona for your stream. If you're a character streamer, whatever you're doing, you're still on to a degree. And
well, yeah, you can't just show up and like watch TV while you're streaming. Like, it's still you're on. You have to be a personality.
So you have to be a personality, but I don't think people realize that. And there's a lot of times when people will say like, "Oh, well, I wasn't on for a couple days because I was super sick," and then they lose like 20 subs.
Yep.
Because people are like, "You're not here just to be an entertainment machine. you're here because you're having a community, you're having you're trying to build a community, you're trying to have a good place for people to be, whether you're gaming, whatever you're doing. And that can affect your health, because there are people I know that will stream anyway if they're sick. They'll stream anyway if they don't feel up to it.
Yeah, because they feel like they have to. Yeah.
Right. And it's like, because there's people are subscribed to me. They're paying for this. And yes, they're paying for it. But if you're not at your best, or you force yourself to do it, one, people can tell when you're not feeling it. And two, that isn't just because someone gives me $5, $10, $25 a month, that doesn't mean that I should push myself beyond my limits. Just be like, hey, I know I normally stream 3 days a week or what have you, but I'm super sick, or I'm just exhausted. I don't have the emotional energy, unless you're cool with a very chill stream, no camera. We're just going to play a single player game and not talk a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, it's not like any other job where you don't like so I work a 9 to 5, and if I'm sick, I take the day off, and I don't lose that income for the day, Right. I still get paid that amount. My boss isn't like, well, you didn't work hard enough today. Like, it's right. There's a reason that there's laws that make them pay me.
We're contractors as streamers.
Yep.
There's no healthcare. There's no benefits. There's just if I take a break from streaming for whatever reason, be it my mental health, be it because I'm traveling, and 30 people drop me, I don't have any choice about that. Or let's say just because I'm not on, and they were all Twitch Prime subs, so if I'm not on, it doesn't remind them to resub.
Right.
It's not malicious.
Right.
So, but that can affect you. Like, I think it was you or someone else was talking about hiding view numbers.
Yeah, I literally I go back and forth with it, but I'm definitely hiding them, like, as we speak right now. Like, I turn them on, kind of check that if they're in a healthy, what I consider a healthy spot, and then I shut them back off, just so that I know, like, I actually don't know what the purpose of them is, because people talk about having them on so that they can keep track and make sure they're engaging, and I'm like, but there's so much more to like whether or not people are watching, because somebody could have tuned out because their dog pissed on the carpet, right? And then another person could have tuned out because, okay, actually the content stopped being engaging, and another person could have tuned in because they accidentally clicked on you and then they tuned out. Like, so there's I don't know, it's hard to, but in my head what's going on when I see those numbers dip is they hate me. It's just validation for that, like, awful voice in my head that's always there, that's going to be like ragging on me no matter what, and is going to be saying stuff like, oh, well, you made that person bored. Oh, you're just not engaging as a speaker. You're just not engaging as a person. Why are you even streaming? That voice is just waiting, for the fodder, and numbers are great fodder.
Yeah, numbers are fodder for a thing. What I would say is, if anyone is that bothered by their numbers, yes, hide them, look at your dashboard, hide the numbers. But if you're trying to then grow your channel and eventually get affiliate, get partner,
right,
you do need to know how you're doing.
Sure.
Bring people after your stream.
Yeah.
Look at your analytics, because that will tell you.
I do that. I just can't watch it like minute to like somebody like me. I'm bothered. I can't watch it minute to minute change. Like, it just makes me too sweaty.
Yeah, and you can check later, but I'd say even wait like maybe a half hour so you're a little detached from the stream.
Yeah.
And not do it every single time, because then you go, oh, I got 50 today, but I only had 10 today. What's the problem?
Yeah.
You realize, oh, it's a holiday.
People are with their family, and
or it's a Sunday or whatever. So it's hard because Diane in the chat is on I Need Diverse Games channel, and we don't have the same engagement. We don't have a lot of the same stuff, and Sunday nights are hard. It's either football, people are winding down for the weekend, what have you, but that you're giving good content,
right?
So
right, but if you have that nagging voice in your head, whether it's depression or just like a general low mood or whatever it is, if you have that nagging voice in your head, you might feel like confident that you made good content, and then it's like, yeah, but your numbers weren't good, so you must have been shit. And that's it's a lot easier to rag on yourself, and it's a lot easier to punish yourself when you don't know the answer, because I can't physically go to everybody's house who watches me and be like, oh, well, they just tuned out because whatever. Okay, that's fine. So it's really easy for your head to make up a story that's not true. And obviously I'm not saying this is what everybody should be striving for. I'm just kind of like, this is what happens in my brain. But I would rather have the community. Absolutely, 110% Dawnstar. But like, it'll even happen with followers where I don't generally think the follower number means a lot at all. I think it's very kind when people follow me and everything, but what matters more is if you tune in, and if I'm making constantly engaging enough content that you want to keep tuning into what I'm doing. But then once in a while, I'll catch, like, just out of the corner of my eye somehow that, like, a follower number went down, and it'll mess with my head the same way.
Yeah, I mean, I try not to notice it too much. It bothers me more on other social media because I figure, especially after those big patches where they auto follow people for you.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I don't worry about that too much, but it can affect your mental health. And when I first started, I would have like 1 or 2 people. I'd have 0 people. So I mean, it is what it is. I think people should just do what's best for them, because I know I can get very obsessive about these things. So I try to like not look down enough to see the number, because I try to engage more with the camera and not like even look at my face.
Right. And then you're not reading or looking at the number at all anyway, because that's not where you're focused.
Or I look at chat, and I have chat kind of more.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the important part. That's why I try to have chat like right here, so that it's like camera, chat, and then the dashboard on Streamlabs. So like the last thing that I could possibly see is a number. But, you know, it'll still... And you never know. Like, there will be so many days where I'll see the number and I'll be like, eh. And then there'll be another day where it will be like just the nail in the coffin for that mood.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? But, so, I mean, are you still affected by it? Or do you feel like generally your mental health is, like, under control when it comes to that stuff?
It depends. I mean, even being a partner, I still have those moments where I'm like... what is it? Because some of my regulars and some of my communities in the chat, what I find interesting is that when I do talk shows like how we're doing, or just chatting, like have coffee and we'll just chit chat in the morning, there's more engagement that way than me playing games. But I started off playing games.
Yeah.
So I always kind of run down what's so interesting about sitting and chatting versus watching me actually do something.
Right. Sometimes, yeah.
Or, you know, because what I started doing prior to all of these problems was I would do a couple hour and a half, 2 hours of talking, and then switch to games, and I would notice a huge drop between the chat portion and the game portion.
Mm-hmm.
And so that would bother me a lot. And so what I would do is gaming in the evening, because it's a different mindset. I don't have to switch gears mentally as much.
Yeah.
And then it also occurred to me, the time I'm stopping to talk, most people are getting to work. They're settling in at their desk, and maybe they can't hang out.
Right.
So if I'm doing this early enough, people listen on their commute, what have you, versus, I'm now at work, I must focus on this, I have to dip out of the chat.
Right.
But it still can, because there's still that, like when people talk about, I hit 1,000 subs, and I'm like, must be nice.
Yeah. So what do you do? That comparison trap is tough. I mean, it's tough in the rest of our lives. And on Twitch, again, Twitch is huge in numbers. So I'm using Twitch, and I'm picking on Twitch because that's where, by the way, hi everybody who's come in, because that's where the emphasis is. But I mean, like, comparison, looking at how well you're doing, it happens on all the social media platforms. It happens at work. Like today I had a shitty day at my 9 to 5, and it was because I was comparing myself to somebody else and beating the shit out of myself. So like my mood, I mean, as much as Twitch affects my mental health, it's not like if I didn't have Twitch, my mental health would be like top notch. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Like, you know, if it would bother me to stop, and, you know, with things going on, because I don't want to keep hammering on that, because it is what it is. But aside from that happening, I really did think about not streaming anymore. And what's interesting is that a lot of my community was, I wouldn't like it, but you need to do what's best for you. I would miss you, but
isn't that fucking cool? Isn't that fucking cool to have that kind of community? That like blows my mind.
Yeah, but then there are people who are like, you can't stop, and that'll let people win. And I'm like, it's not about winning or losing. This is about me being emotionally okay. Yeah,
this is about me now. Like, it stopped being about somebody winning or anything like that.
It was never about winning, and that's what I think. And, you know, and to segue more in to be more on topic, I think a lot of people don't realize, like some streamers get to a point that people forget their viewers and their community forget they're a person.
Yeah.
They put them way up here.
Yep.
And they stop being whatever, they stop being a human, they start being whatever their Twitch name is, whatever they think of them, because so many people still think, you're like, oh, you're a partner, you must have XYZ. And
right.
And it's like, no, there are still people that when that camera goes off, things are really dark and they don't tell anyone because they don't want to bother people, because a lot of us are trained to do that.
They don't want to bum anybody out. If that was the big one when I tweeted about it recently, right? I asked, like, do you or do you not talk about mental health? When people said no, it was either for two reasons. One, I don't feel qualified, which makes sense. And the other one was, well, I don't want to bum anybody out, or I'm starting a community and I don't want people to think that it's just about these upsetting things. And I was like, holy shit, I don't think we need to be thinking about mental health that way. But like, I understand, like, it's what you said. It's we're trained a certain way.
Yeah, I think a lot of it too is depending on where you grew up, because a lot of our conversations are U.S. centric, because a lot of us are in the U.S.
Sure.
And, you know, not many people think about outside the U.S. how mental health is considered in those other countries, etc. But especially if you are socialized as female in the U.S., you are socialized to take care of others before yourself.
Yep.
And so a lot of people look at streaming and the communities around it, especially if someone is, you know, presents as female. There's this, I'm trying to think of a good way to say it without sounding weird.
I don't know, just fucking say it, man. We'll figure it out later.
Words mean things.
No, okay, no, you're right.
It's my living writing.
Yeah.
I really think about these things. I think there's just a lot of nurturing and expectation put on people who present as female, because their expectation is for us to take care of them, and not in a mom way or anything like that, but in a, well, the streamer's female, presenting female, this is what I expect. Because like when people do things, and I don't know, it's because I'm struggling with words today, and I don't know why this is so hard to
just
put
take your
together.
time.
I just feel like a lot of people, when they do find a good community and there's a nurturing aspect to it, I don't want to be seen as a mom figure. Auntie, maybe, because, you know, and
aunties have way more fun, but I do get what you're saying, and yeah. I hope I'm understanding it correctly, because I do often feel like a mom. I feel like the expectation is definitely nurturing. But that being said, I literally have a mental health stream where I encourage people to come in and talk about their problems so that like they can feel better walking away. Like, I promised a nurturing stream, so maybe I don't know if I'm the best example, but at the same time, like, did I do that partly because of the fact that I'm female and that is how I've been socialized? I kind of wouldn't disagree with that. Like, there's no real way for me to disagree with that, honestly.
Yeah, and it's hard because I always want people to feel like they can come to me and talk to me.
Yeah.
But I still want that not barrier, what's the word?
Boundary.
Thank you. I want that boundary to be there, but I don't want to be inaccessible. But it's hard because, again, as someone who's a streamer who has mental health stuff going on, who has to think about boundaries and what's healthy and what's okay and what's not okay. Because Socks, who's in the chat, is one of my moderators and part of my community. And we had a situation where someone wanted my address because they said they wanted to get something for me because I got partnered. And then I was like, I'm not okay with that.
Right.
Because that when I didn't answer fast enough, they tried to get my address in other ways. And I'm like,
okay, so that's a red flag now. You were fine before, but now it's a red flag.
And so things like that, where it's like, this is a boundary, this is a big boundary. But then when you see how people don't see you as a person, because then everything flipped. It was, I was terrible and they didn't know why they support me, blah, blah, blah. So thinking about those ways in which your community is a very fragile ecosystem.
Yeah, it is. I say that, but I always am like afraid to say that because I don't want to imply that like the people in the community are fragile, but the ecosystem that is set up for everybody, like for all of these strangers, like I think about any situation, right? You have a classroom of kids. All of them are not going to get along. And as a streamer, your job when you're cultivating a community is to have a classroom of, if you're a partner and you're following all the guidelines, 75 people be getting along at any given moment. Like it's borderline impossible when you put it that way, right? So it's an ecosystem, and it's tough.
It's an ecosystem. It's a macro level of or micro level of society that you're building. Because here's the other part of it is that just because you stream does not mean you have a community.
That's a good point. That's
turning on the camera, the mic, everything else does not mean that voila, community has sprouted up full grown.
Yeah.
Because we've had problems in my community. We've had, thankfully, knock on wood, one person we've actually had to asked to leave the Discord.
Happened to me already too, dude.
I mean, it happens. Not everyone's a good fit, and because of stuff going on, we're even more selective. Not selective, but we just kind of ask people to say who they are before they join the Discord. But that doesn't mean it's a community, because I did a panel about this at TwitchCon last year. A community has to grow. It has to happen organically, and people need to understand and respect each other. And that's what I think community starts to form. But then there's also things where one of our community members who also streams was playing a survival game, and somehow the conversation got into a weird territory about survival and how you'd survive and things you would do to survive. And so he asked people to be mindful of that, because if someone's just trying to watch you chill and play the long dark, they're certainly not trying to have this deep conversation about survival skills and mental health all of a sudden.
Sure.
So things like that, where you can have those conversations, you can be adults about it, but also be cognizant of other people and the space.
Right.
And that's where I think a lot of discussing personal lives is important, because I've pulled back a lot on talking about my personal life, even on Facebook, which is even more locked down than my Twitter or anything else, because people, like, as your public presence grows, the boundary has to get wider. I found, which is kind of rough, because previous to everything that I've done, I wasn't an open book, but I was a lot more open than I probably should have been in public. Thankfully, I'm just old enough to where my teen years are not on the internet.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I think about those kids and I feel awful for them. But go ahead.
Yeah. So it's hard, because all of that can accumulate, especially if you're someone trying to cultivate that community.
Yeah.
And have your life, you're basically putting your life out there when you stream, depending on what you're doing, what your content is, whether you're doing panels, what have you. You are now you are a public figure at whatever level you're at. You're not just someone sitting at home on the couch chilling and watching whatever.
Right.
You have put yourself out there. And I think that's part of it, is that people don't realize that mental health toll. Because what if you have someone come in your chat and is like, hey, I'm not doing well, I'm feeling suicidal, and you're not trained for it. I mean, we're ambassadors, but neither one of us is trained to deal with that.
Yeah, I mean, I have a mental health first aid training, so I can make sure that, like, I can talk that person into their next steps, but not like that's not really training.
Right. So, but things like that, where I don't think people see the connection between mental health, what it's like to see people put themselves out here like this daily.
Yeah.
What streamers allow us to see and not see is important as well. Because that's the other part of it, is I don't think people realize that when the camera's off, people have lives outside of this.
Yeah. And that's something I think I've tried to make super clear, and I feel like things have suffered or moved maybe more slowly than some people would have liked because of that. Like, so many times I've had to literally just be like, there have been people in the community, actually those people are not in the community anymore because I kind of weeded out, that were like, hey, you got to do that 12-hour stream. Hey, you got to, why don't you stick around and hang out with us? And like, as much as I respect that somebody out there is willing to do that, like, I had to learn the hard way what my boundaries are, and then I have to reinforce them, and that might be not be the way of Twitch, right? Because when you're on Twitch, you're supposed to stream like 4 hours or so, and maybe play a little bit of video games, not just talk, and like, so there's definitely been a point where I had to come to terms with the fact of like, this is what I can present and this is what I can offer, and I cannot get down on myself for not doing something that isn't like that I'm just not comfortable with, even though it's the way to do it according to some system.
Yeah, that's not the way though, because I've never been a 8, 10, 12-hour streamer. Like, I tried to do a 12-hour stream once. Keyword try.
Yeah.
Did not happen. But then the other part of it is the diversity aspect. And at least for me, not seeing people who look like me when I first joined the platform.
Yeah.
Because now, thankfully, we do see a lot more people of color, a lot more Black streamers, a lot more female streamers, or female identified streamers. But when I first joined the platform, now almost 6 years ago, there wasn't, Twitch didn't acknowledge Black History Month.
Yeah.
We didn't see Women's History Month, LGBT History Month acknowledged.
Right.
But there's still not enough being done. And so that is part of it too, because the diversity aspect and mental health tie together. Because when you're a Black streamer on here or not a white dude, you will get, you'll get things like, monkey emotes spammed at you. That stupid KFC emote when they had it.
Oh my God. There's a lot. We were talking about this in Gothix's stream recently. I don't know if you know Gothix's model, but she was talking, like, she educated me on certain emotes that were used in a horrible racist way. And I had no idea, not that I was like using them freely, but I had no idea that, like, my brain wouldn't even go there to subvert something that's kind of meant to be innocent in such a way. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, so things like, like Trihex's emotes. I'm sure he's a nice guy. His emotes are banned on my channel.
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah.
It sucks because, like I said, I've watched him. Sure, he's a nice guy. I've never met him. But what should be... okay, I'm going to answer you, Keys, in 1 second since Keys asked that question. But there are things like, or, just people will try to circumvent filters, everything else to call you the N-word.
Oh my God.
Or, I don't know what's in the water, but lately, well, prior to all of the shenaniganry I was getting, people would ask like what your gender is, or just flat out call you a man or say you're an ugly man or what have you. So, that takes a toll on you. And there's so many people I know that don't want to be on Twitch or any streaming platform.
Yeah.
Because they see what streamers get, and especially like Black women streamers, especially Black dudes. And if you add the modifier of being queer and Black and out.
Oh, forget it.
Oh, boy. Oh, Socks beat me to explaining it. But, just for those that may not understand why the KFC emote would be a bad thing, stereotypically, chicken and watermelon has been associated with Black people as a way to be a racist stereotype. So no one apparently put 2 and 2 together of a bucket of chicken. We got Black folks on our channel, on our platform. Somebody, some enterprising racist is going to take 30 seconds to use this in a bad way.
Yep.
So yeah. Grape Kool-Aid, not so much, isn't really a stereotype. I like Kool-Aid. It's purple drink. More blackface. It's lawn jockeys. It's Aunt Jemima and the mammy stereotype. Not so much grape Kool-Aid.
So grape Kool-Aid would be okay.
I mean, if anybody's got a grape Kool-Aid emote,
you would use it.
I mean, I like red Kool-Aid. Like, it was never a flavor; it was just red.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, to me, it wasn't Dawn, but I also grew up in a primarily Black neighborhood. So, and here's the thing about emotes, since we're talking about this, and it ties into mental health, because there are people that can use them. Like, I think one of Twitch's default sets is monkeys, and they're adorable little monkeys.
Yeah.
But you have to think about it if you're throwing monkey emotes.
Yeah, there's some motherfucker out there. There's some nasty jerk. Yeah.
And it took like maybe 10 seconds, I'm sure, for someone to do that.
Yep.
So, like, this month, Black streamers are getting 2 hours a day for Black History Month. And last year when I was part of it and I was part of the Black History Month thing, I was like, so these are the emotes you need to worry about. These are things you need to think about. And, are you going to have extra protection for your streamers? Front page can be anywhere from 1,000, 500 to maybe 10,000 people, depending on your time of day, your
The
normal.
nastiness of the front page, the shit I've seen from people on the front page who are not like cisgender white males. And before anybody, like, I don't want to hear about how I'm sure that they get crap too and it's different, but like I've watched one gay gentleman be on stream, be on the front page, and I watched a black woman be on stream, on the front page, and I've seen a white man be on the front page. And out of the three, the first two, I saw things like my eyes were bleeding, like things I never fathomed people could put together, and thoughts and ideas that people put together, that I was like, that's a new creative way to be horrible, and that's nothing to be proud of, obviously.
Oh, it's not, but it's like, you have to think about these things, and that is stressful because there have been times where I've just been like playing Stardew Valley, like something really innocuous,
Right.
and you'll get people coming in with things like using monkey emotes, what have you, or they'll get real creative because emotes, unless you know the code for the emote, you can't put it in your banned words list. They'll throw like a banana, a monkey, what have you, all together, and I'm like, okay, so you threw food at me? But it depends on where I'm at emotionally and mental health wise.
Again,
where
yeah.
I can chew on my food, as some friends like to say, or I can be like, okay, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah.
So I'm coming to a point. I'm trying to come back to it.
You're totally fine. It's a conversation. It's totally
I
cool.
know. I wandered down a path and I had a point trying to connect 2 points.
You'll bring it back. I believe in you.
But mental health, though, it's one of the things I care about because it's something that isn't talked about a lot, at least when I was growing up. I grew up on the south side of Chicago. And like, even when my grandmother passed years ago at this point, I tried to get my mom to go to grief therapy and she wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I finally went to therapy and it was one of the most freeing things I ever did. I hated it, but it was freeing and it helped me grow. So, and thank you, Socks.
Aww.
Socks gave me a give please.
Aww.
I don't know why I say give please like that. I just like to say it that way.
No, I think that's how you're supposed to say it. I don't know that there's any other way to say it. Chicago. Hi, my dad is from Chicago. Aw. Mythic Mitch, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for that compliment. It's my Elsa bow. I don't know why. I was just wearing blue and I was inspired to put on my Elsa bow then. Yeah, that's fascinating. Do you feel like, and this is hard for us to quantify, but do you feel like being a streamer puts your mental health more at risk than maybe other occupations do, like being a content creator, just because of how vastly you're exposed to, like how vast of an audience you're exposed to?
I don't know, because I don't know that it's be any more at risk, because I feel like I'm a weird outlier in a way, because I'm way more public than a lot of people.
Sure.
Because while I stream, it is not the main focus of what I do. But I think it can take a toll, and I think it all depends on the person. Because if someone is great mental health wise and they have an experience where they try to stream, maybe they try it for the first time, and they get someone that comes in and calls them names, comments on their appearance,
Right.
it can be a detriment, and that can be kind of a very bad introduction to things. And there's still a difference between I streamed and someone called me names and I was sad, but I got over it, versus I'm in a bad place mentally anyway, but I did this as a way to kind of work myself through it, talk to my community. And then I had troll after troll after troll commenting on my looks, what have you. And that can send you down a nasty depression spiral. Because I think a lot of people don't realize the difference between depression and I feel sad and I just want to like lay in bed and cry for a couple hours, then I'm okay. Then
Okay. We could talk about that for 4 hours. Just that alone, just the misunderstand. I mean, you were here for that show where we did the misunderstanding, and that is like the core key of it. Anytime somebody doesn't understand or like cannot fathom, cannot offer the amount of sympathy that is required to offer somebody who's depressed, it's like I automatically know, like, you just can't put yourself in those shoes. You just like, you have no idea what the difference is between sad and depressed, and it's a huge one. Oh, the exception.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Yeah, because a lot of people think like, oh, like go for a run, exercise, watch something happy, you'll be fine. And that's great if I just felt a little sad and a little down. But depression is way more than that. Sometimes you need meds, sometimes you need therapy, sometimes you need both.
Yeah.
I don't think inherently streaming is more of a danger to mental health. I would honestly say working as higher ed for 16 years was worse for my mental health.
Okay, got it.
Oh, well, thank you, Ryan.
Aww.
So that's what I think. I think a lot of things, because again, it ties back into race and everything else, especially if you are, luckily people are coming to the platform now, are going to see more people of color. They're going to find more communities. They're going to find more people like them, versus when I was on the platform just watching, not even streaming 6 years ago, or 5.5, whatever, however we're counting. So I think it can be hard, and if you never see people like you, but if you go to the front page, if you don't see anyone like you, if you're only seeing dudes that scream and yell and play COD and don't do anything but the same 4 games, you're going to feel like, when do I get my shot? When do I get to see people like me celebrated, aside from the shortest month of the year for 2 hours a day at various times of the day?
Yeah, we were talking about how like people dared have like any outrage over that because it's absolutely absurd, and just like how upsetting it is that there's still people in the world who had something to say that was negative about that. Like, again, yeah, shortest month of the year, 2 hours a day. I think we can all spare some time for fucking people that are actually part of this country and like represent a whole nother portion of our population. I think we could do that.
Right. And you know, the immediate outcry like last year and this year.
Yeah, that's I think that's why I got so pissed off, because I was like, we did this last year and I thought we shut you all the fuck up and it didn't make sense last year. So why this year come back with the same shit, with the same nonsense, like retorts to all. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I mean,
I clearly get hot about it.
No, I mean, it makes no sense, but here's the thing. In 2019, people keep having these, oh my God, not in my country, blah, blah, blah. How dare the world be like this? And most of the times, they're not people of color who have dealt with the reality that people are seeing now in this world. Well, like, you know, things like the rapper that got picked up by ICE, and there's this whole controversy about whether or not he's a citizen or he's waiting on citizenship or whatever he's doing. And, you know, people are like, oh my God, how could you pick up a citizen? How could you pick up someone who entered legally? And like, yeah, I know, I just was trying not to say the name because I don't particularly like the word savage. I know exactly what we're talking about. It hasn't gotten really bad. It's just come to the light. Here's the thing. The country's always been like this. This is not a surprise to anybody who's Black in this country. So not sure where you're going, Inachu, but I'm not talking about Malcolm X right now.
Yeah, Inachu, tread lightly. The swords will be sharpened. Tread lightly.
Because here's the thing. It's been like this for Black and brown people, for people who came legally, illegally, whatever. But everyone having this, oh my God, not in my country. Surprise. It's always been like this. You just didn't have to see it.
So my argument to that is, and it's not even really an argument. So I'm an immigrant. So I've experienced that whole side of things. I just by luck of the fucking draw, I happen to be white. But that never stopped kids from like making fun of me and making me feel less than, and making me feel like I didn't belong and all that stuff. And I would never ever pretend that I knew exactly what that experience was, but I don't think that it's impossible for us to feel like we are. I think I am appalled out of that sympathy, out of I don't understand exactly what this must feel like, and it's not that it's not that I've never seen it before. It's just that I'm still shocked that this kind of hatred exists. Like, I remember experiencing it or something like it when I was, when I was like 14, when I had just moved here and I had a funny accent and all that shit. But to see it continuing to go on because it has an effect, because now I don't have a funny accent and maybe I dress more like an American and the average person doesn't know. Like, I got to blend in. And so to continue seeing how awful things are is definitely, it's appalling out of sympathy. I hope that makes sense.
Well, no, that makes sense. But here's the thing: a lot of people, because they keep thinking like, "Oh, when the old races die off, things will get better."
There's new racists.
Well, no, but I'm getting there.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
The old racists are teaching their kids and their grandkids and everything else. So Inichu, I don't know where you're going with this, but stick with the conversation, please. Those people are training their kids. No one is born with these beliefs. Everything you do, you have learned either from your parents, your peers, formal education, informal education, your whatever you're around. Because I used to work as a lunch lady. I was a Chicago public school lunch lady. Was at worked at a school that was mostly Hispanic. And this grade school child, asked me what it was like to live in the ghetto.
Yeah, now, they didn't just come up with that idea.
Right. They flat out said, "Oh, I learned that from my brother. That's what my brother told me." And I was like, "Well, I don't know what to tell you, because one, not like I'd be ashamed to have been raised in quote unquote the ghetto, but I was raised middle class in the city of Chicago. So I can't tell you what that was like." But the fact that a child asked me this shows that the races aren't dying off. They're just passing it down. So, this whole idea of, oh, these old races are just going to die off. They've been dying off. They've just passed it on.
Yeah.
And so I think now we're finally getting people to see how the world has always been. And they're having that sticker shock of what their country really costs. And I'm just going to sit here and watch them because, look, I'm an old black chick. I've seen this. I've done this dance. I'm not going to sit here and hold someone's hand while they have that moment of realization, because the world has always been cruel and harsh to people of color and folks who are not American and queer and out, and like everybody who's not a rich white dude. That's the way it was. The country was built on that. So let's not act like we're surprised.
I think we all, I don't know who I'm talking about when I say we, because I don't even know what I would identify that with. But I think when I say that, I think it's out of hope that I almost hope that I was the last person to experience that, which is so head in the clouds kind of situation. Like, that's not how the world works, not how any of this works. But if I were to explain it and try to logic myself out of it, I think that's where my brain is like, oh, I wasn't the last person to experience this shit, and the shit didn't just die out. It didn't just disappear. It's just I started experiencing it less. Wow, that sucks.
Well, I think that's why a lot of utopian things, well, you can look at it both ways, and if this is veering too much off topic, let me know. But
I don't think we're on topic as much as you're fine. Just go for it.
Okay, I think Inichu is just being weird to be weird.
Yeah.
Sorry, I noted the comment, and I'm like, you're just being weird to be weird at this point. I think there's two parts of it. Like, notice how in these utopian sci-fi, no, not picking on you, and stop. I'm not a mod here, so.
Oh no, but Cypher, like, I know enough about Cypher that she gets to run the fucking show, because I saw her do this last time, and it was incredible. And so so just because Cypher is not your mom doesn't mean that she doesn't get to punish you like your auntie does. So, like, I hope that was okay to say, but I think you guys know what I mean.
Yeah, it's just, Anyway, that's why I think a lot of utopian type things offer this like very blank slate kumbaya, we're all great, racism doesn't exist, because people want that.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't want to look at the inequalities. And then when you look at dystopian things where look at who gets to survive, the fittest of the fit. Notice there's not a lot of brown people in dystopian stories. They assume that we're just not going to be there, when the truth is, with all that we've had to survive, slavery, everything else, we're probably going to come out a lot better in the apocalypse than most people that are very, very well off, that don't have to think about this. All these people with silver spoons and all this money that have been pampered, they're going to be the first ones to go come the apocalypse or dystopian setup or what have you. But there's just no realization of how all this factors in. And I mean, we can go around and around and come back to like how a lack of intersectionality, a lack of diversity, a lack of inclusion, and a lack of representation all ties back into mental health. Because how many people in the chat that are not white and well off, or just white cis males assumed straight, have had to deal with if you try to be your authentic self and not seeing yourself represented in media, be it books, TV, what have you, or streaming. That all affects your mental health, because you see that there's no place for you, that you are not wanted, you are not needed. And for me growing up, because I'm a little older, I grew up where I didn't get to see things like, like Uhura was a role model because she was the first Black person I saw on TV that wasn't a maid, that wasn't like, somebody's like pimped out girlfriend or something, where we finally got to see a role model.
I always smile at Uhura because she was my role model, and I like recognize later on as an adult, I recognized her significance to people different than me, and I remember like that moment. So that's why like anytime somebody brings up Uhura, I always smile, because I'm like, it's really weird how somebody can mean a lot to you, and then you're kind of like, oh, it means even more to certain people. Holy shit, like the impact of that.
Yeah, so I mean, things like that where people don't think about diversity and its requirement, and not just the diversity aspect, but the inclusion, because like how a lot of people, excuse me, sorry,
You okay?
Yeah,
Oh.
I didn't want to burst your mic.
That's fine. I thought you read something. I was like, who's it? Who's ass
I was trying not to belch.
Oh, you don't know we have a burp command. You guys don't do it yet. Don't do it, because she won't be able to hear it anyway. Do it when she leaves.
No, it's fine. It's just like, because my mic is super sensitive. That would have been so rude and loud.
No, it wouldn't be rude, because you'd be in the right place is what I'm trying to tell you. You'd be right at home.
Like how people think about not just the diversity part of it,
I'm a lady,
but the inclusion part of it, because it's not enough to go, oh, look, we're going to give 28 streamers 2 hours a day on this platform. Include us in other things. Have more Black and brown faces on the front page. Have more women on the front page that do not fit the streamer girl stereotype, if that makes sense. Because a lot of people, when they think of women who stream, they see a specific stereotype. They don't see women like me. They don't see people like X Mira Mira or Cup of Noodle or other people that are not blonde or redhead or dyed hair, some unnatural color, a bunch of tattoos, tank top, etc. So people don't think about that. And when they think about streaming, they think about a white dude with a beard and a flannel shirt and Fortnite. So that's what streaming means to a lot of people. So, and I told the story on Twitter. I was going to the movies, and the TwitchCon partner gift was a backpack, and so it says Twitch partner on it. And I'm playing around on my phone, and I've got a PlayStation back on it. And these 3 young Black girls were like, "Oh, you stream?" And of course, the first thing they asked me was, "Do you play Fortnite?" And I made a face, and then I caught myself because I didn't want to cuss at people I didn't know.
Right.
But we're talking about gaming and stuff, and I was like, if you try streaming, let me know. Here's my channel. But they seemed kind of young. But the fact that they were so excited to see an adult Black woman who streams, who knows what games are, because I'm guessing the person with them that was either a mom or her aunt maybe probably doesn't care about games, because she just had this kind of like look on her face, like, aren't you a little old for that? But she didn't say it. But everyone who's an adult who still plays video games has gotten that look on occasion when you talk about games, and you just get that kind of judgy look from other adults. That was the look on her face while we were talking. So yeah, exactly, Don. It was exactly that. It was someone like me who does this thing that I like, because I've probably been playing games longer than they've been alive. So the inclusion is what's necessary, not just the here's your bone for like the month.
Right. Can I ask you,
sure.
and I hope, if there's anything wrong with this, I know you'll educate me, but my question is
I'll
this...
charge you.
You'll charge me. Is this the time for people who are generally better represented? Is this the time for us to speak up and to be talking about representation and to be talking, or is that not our place? Because I genuinely, I want to speak up about it, and then I don't want to be like, oh yeah, that white girl, yeah, she sure knows what's going on, sure, yeah, no problem. And because like I don't look in any way like somebody who might have been, like experience even half the things that I'm sure you've went through throughout your life. So if people don't know what my background is or anything, like I don't want to come off as that, like, that old
White
meme
knighting?
Yeah, well, white knighting, yeah. And you know that meme from during the Wall Street protests with this girl with wearing dreadlocks? Yeah, she like has dreadlocks, and it's all about like says like the man sucks, and then continues like has a trust fund for, has a trust fund from her parents, like that kind of thing. So like I don't want to look like that. Do you know what I mean? I don't.
Oh, I know exactly what you're saying.
Okay.
So here's the thing, and this is important for anyone in the chat who's listening or watching. The important part with that is you speak up, but not over. So let's say I'm on Twitter talking about something that pertains to race or gender, LGBT issues, whatever. And if you're not, so if we are both female presenting,
Sure.
So if I'm talking about something that applies just to women,
sure,
and not specifically to women of color, Black women, what have you, that's one thing if you chime in and add your experience. But when I talk about things pertaining to me as a Black woman, retweet without a comment. Don't add your 2 cents. Don't come in and go, well, I had a Black friend and she told me blah, 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 and therefore I've had it happen.
I'm sorry. That probably wasn't appropriate to laugh. I'm sorry, guys. I've seen that, and it always makes me cringe really hard. We just got a menu in our inboxes today, and it said, in honor of Black History Month, here is the new menu, and you can only imagine what was on this menu. And I literally sat there just going like, I don't even know how to react to this, because it is.
Let me guess, it was fried chicken.
Oh yeah, every Monday.
Watermelon, greens.
It was a lot of green. It was a lot of greens. I don't know about Kool-Aid, but I don't know about watermelon because it's not seasonal. But there was a lot of fried chicken, and I just closed it, deleted it, and was like, "It's a good cafeteria. There's good people. They mean well, but I don't fucking know what to do with this right now."
So, and we can talk about the food thing in a minute, but when it comes to things like this, especially during Black History Month, especially when people are talking about these things, because I think there's a lot of knee-jerk reaction. I see this so much on Twitter and other places, where if you talk about a racist thing that happened, people jump up, well, I'm not racist. And it's like, where did you come from? Nobody was talking to you.
What hole did you crawl out of?
Because there's a former friend, when the current person won the presidency, I had to fly the day after the election that year.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. And so I woke up early because my flight was early, couldn't sleep, because I really thought I had dreamed it. I'd hoped I dreamt that shit, but I woke up.
Do you know that's exactly what I did? Yeah, that's I went under the covers. It was in this room. I didn't even make it to my bed because I was just like, nope. And I went under the covers.
I didn't make it long enough to see the election results. I went to bed. I fell asleep because I had this early flight. And so I was tweeting about it, and international friends were like, are you okay? are you going to be okay? And a friend, and I was like, it's bad when your international friends are like, are you okay?
Yeah.
And then someone else chimed in, someone that I no longer speak with. Okay, Inachu, I don't think you're 35 years old or know what POC means.
He's out. Go on.
So I'm just like, no, I was just like, really? I'm guessing you're probably not even 35 years old, let alone know what dating or POC means. And this person chimed with, I'm in danger to. The way they phrased it was, they took umbrage because they replied to me in some weird way, and I said, "You're a suburban white woman. You will be okay." Because people are either going to assume she voted for the current president, or if they don't assume it, they're not going to give her the grief I get as a Black person in this country. And she won this whole tirade, started texting me, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. So that's a good example. Oh God. All right. So far things that I would avoid with a 20-foot pole. So we're good. Great. But
Right.
I'm imagining that whole conversation. I'm picturing it.
Oh, I still have the screenshots.
Just the whole like your experience, yes, but don't forget about my experience. That has been a huge break between just friendships in general, and I'm not even talking about stuff that's like as important as what you're discussing. Like I have been with friends who will end up saying like, yeah, well, your experience sucks, but my experience is worse. And that there's nothing further than that to drive me just away from you, just person to person, because listening to that, it means you're invalidating what I'm saying. So I just, the reason I'm going into this like little soapbox about it is because I want to make sure that it's clear like why that's not kosher. Because not only is it invalidating what the other person is saying, it's also saying your experience is equal to my experience, which it's not. But what we can all do is just sympathize. Like what that woman could have done is just said, hey, that really sucks. I'm here if you need me. That's fucking it. Or she could have said nothing, just frankly.
Nothing would have been preferable, but she's also someone that if I talk about, for those that are not aware of this, a lot of times people fetishize Black people, especially when you have natural hair. If you can't tell, I've got locks, and people want to touch my hair for some unknown reason. I don't understand why. I don't want to touch someone's hair if I don't know them. I don't know I don't want to touch people's hair or touch other people unless I know them.
We talked about this. People touch my hair, and I said, and you were like, who the fuck is touching your hair? Yes.
Well, there's also, but I talked about that and talked about the ways in which it's very dehumanizing because Google Hottentot Venus, for those people that may not get this reference, she was literally on display like an animal because of her features, etc., because they had not seen Black women from the African continent. And so I talk about this a lot. And then she was like, well, I have curly hair. And I was like, who the fuck was talking to you? This is not the same thing. Go away. And she got deep in her feelings about, well, it's just like, I was like, no. Again, you're a white woman. I don't care where you originally came from. This country sees you as a white woman. Let's not have this conversation or comparison. So it's things like that where, as a white person, or
thank you, Don.
Where you can listen. And here's the thing: a lot of people, they don't know how to listen without chiming in because they want to help. The best help you can do is listen, retweet people. Don't add your own bits, don't add your own conversation, because there was a tweet going around just yesterday about why don't you play online games. And so I said, because people are rude, I get tired of, oh my god, you're a girl, I get called all kind of slurs. And somebody was like, well, as a white male, and I was like, okay.
He might as well have gotten up and just done the mansplaining pose.
And I just didn't reply to the tweet. I had the Kermit gif where he's just like, okay. I had it like, I was like, I don't have the energy for you today. I'm just gonna ignore this tweet. So I mean, it's hard because on the one hand, when you know people are genuinely good and they want to try to help, it's hard because, especially if you know the person, because there's a difference between I know you And if you were to say something to me, either a response to something, etc., I know you're a good person and you're not being harmful. Versus the rando on Twitter that sees something and just has to chime in, or they think they're being useful. And this is going to sound terrible, but I just have to say it. When it comes to like streaming, etc., or anything I talk about in the realm of race, I will get what I call, a friend has coined this term for me, helpy versus helpful people. They will give you advice. They will talk over you. So we're talking about like not to do like talking over you, talking for you. And they try to relate and they try to be helpful, but they're being helpy where they're not doing anything. They're just talking to talk. So things like that come up a lot where you're just, I didn't ask you. B, oh no, it's a raid. Hey, Gothics.
It's a big raid and it's Gothics. Oh my goodness.
I have not had a chance to see Gothics live yet. I followed her on Twitter and Twitch, but I've not.
Oh, I can't wait for you're gonna love her. You're gonna fall in love. Oh,
I follow her on Twitter. I don't know if she knows who I am.
Okay. Both situations. First of all, she's gonna be on my show. So if you have a moment and you want to stop by, she's gonna be on my show like later in the month. I think on the 21st. So if you want to get to know her that way and like ask her questions, you could do that. But also, yeah, Gothics and Cypher, you guys need to connect and like be best friends. That's what I've decided. You guys are both just like wonderful human beings. Oh my gosh, it's a sin. You're resubbed for 11 months, baby. I hope I don't. Oh my gosh, they're here. Oh, my bot is like, do you know Take This? Do you know about Be the Light? Because it responds every so many messages.
The poor bot.
Poor bot. Welcome in, you wonderful humans. For those of you guys who don't know me, I'm Mxiety. I'm a mental health streamer here on Twitch. So what I do is I focus on mental health advocacy and education, and I do so by interviewing people and having them tell their stories, especially people who, whose focus is also on mental health. So Cypheroftyr is one such person. She is a streamer here. She's a Take This ambassador. She is behind I Need Diverse Games. Here's all her links. I hope they don't get lost. If they do, I'll post them again. But thank you so much. Oh my gosh, 2 gift subs. Thank you. Oh my gosh, what's going on? Oh, Gothic's got a gift sub. Oh, thank you for being the light. That's so kind. All right. Oh, I guess we just have to.
Oh dear.
Do you want to hop off? Because I know you had to go, and I feel like I don't.
No, we're doing good. It's
you're
only
good?
40 more minutes, unless you want to take a quick break.
No, I'm good as long as you're okay. We're
not
on a roll.
Expect a giant raid. Hey, Gothics, how are you? I've seen you around the Twitters.
Around the Twitters. She's fucking.
Around the Twitters.
She's fucking hysterical.
Yeah, I like your tweets. It's just I've never managed to catch you live because I think we overlap a lot.
I think so. Yeah. Super Gaijin. Oh my gosh! Wait. I met you at TwitchCon. I know I met you at TwitchCon. It's like we both met each other at TwitchCon. Caught one of the Twitch links. Yes. Okay, yeah, here you go, guys. This is Cypher's info. This is my info. In the sea of links and in the sea of all this stuff, you'll catch something. I actually saw you in a secret meeting on Friday. Oh. I'm good. Wait, what?
Wait, secret meeting?
Oh, okay. I don't know what's going on. Maybe.
Are you talking to me or to Mxiety?
Or is she talking to? I don't know if she's not you, Em. Oh, okay. You had her. You were in a secret meeting with her. Apparently, I don't fucking know.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I got you. Never mind. I figured it out.
Okay. Oh, we need to know something. No, there's nothing you need. It's a secret. What part of secret you get it? Yeah. So okay. So if you guys are sharing secrets, you're very close to being best friends. So my goal is like that much closer.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Oh,
I got you.
Okay.
I will hopefully see you in the secret Discord for the secret thing we were in a meeting for. So.
All right, you guys, enough with your secrets. We feel excluded now.
No, don't be excluded. I'm glad you're here.
I'm fucking kidding.
We were just talking about things that
I literally mentioned you like 3 times. I mentioned Gothics like during. Yeah, we're talking. We ended up talking about like diversity and just mental health on Twitch, and then of course that flew into diversity and mental health. And I think I just fucking interrupted you. So please just talk. Just talk. Cypher, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Where were we? I've totally lost track.
Damn, it was important too. It was good shit.
We don't do ASMR. We were talking about things you can do and race and the ways in which
helping versus helpy.
Yes, helping versus helpy. So being helpy is a thing you should not do. So actually, I don't know if Brian's still here. Urban Bohemian and I were talking about this today before he went live, about things where if you, let's say you make a comment or like, hey, I could really use this, or not if you directly say, give me recommendations. If you say, I'm having a hard time, what have you, there are some people that will just jump in with, oh my God, what can I do? Blah, blah, blah. And you're like, I was just talking. I think of it kind of like backseating on Twitch.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. Super frenetic. Exactly. And so what I was asking for recommendations because I wanted to buy some shelves. I need more bookshelves and stuff. No, Viceroy, sorry. I can point you to an ASMR streamer though if you'd really like one.
Yeah, well, who the fuck asks like that? Who comes into, that's just so rude. I'm sorry. I'm gonna quick soapbox moment here. Who comes into somebody's stream and goes, this is the content you need to provide me with right now? You're on Twitch. Fucking use the ASMR tag and go find an ASMR streamer and don't tell me what content I need to be producing for you right now. That's just beyond rude, and it's ridiculous. So I have nothing against ASMR. I have a lot of things against you and how you're presenting yourself. So I hope, yeah, that's it. All right, I'm done. Go on.
Right. It's like, and I don't have the voice or personality for ASMR. Anyway.
But like, no, I no.
Oh, I know. So we can talk about that. People that come into chats, because that's a thing that can affect your mental health.
We could talk about that if you'd rather like transition into that. Absolutely.
No, we can.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Melon. Thanks for coming through.
Aww.
But things like I was talking about needing to go to IKEA or wanting to go to IKEA or something.
Yeah.
And someone like messages me with a lot of suggestions that are not going to work for me because they're like $500 worth of shelves. When I specifically said low cost is an issue, and I would need to get to IKEA because I'm never going to try to get anything delivered again. And someone's like, "Oh, I live in your area, the city, etc." Blah blah blah. And I was like, actually, I don't even live on that part of the city. I've never lived in that part of the city. So it shows like they were more interested in being helpful and jumping going, me.
Oh, see me? I'm gonna be helpful. I'm gonna be so helpful right now. I'm the helpiest person you've ever seen.
That also tells me that you don't pay attention to me as a friend, and not in the, oh my God, pay attention to me, but in the, you don't even know what side of the city I live on.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm super hard to find, but you've known me for years. I've never lived on that side of the city. So it's more of I feel like it's more of I want to be helpful and be seen to be that helpful, pat me on the head kind of thing. But that can also fall into streaming. So, Resident Evil 2 remake came out.
Mm-hmm.
I've played all the Resident Evil games. I'm older than all the Resident Evil games. And I had people coming in to try to tell me how to play Resident Evil. And I'm like, why are you here? Like giving me tips and if you do this. And I was like, but nobody asked you.
When I ask, you can tell me that. Until then.
But, that's why I feel like a lot of interactions online are like where, and it's hard because Twitter is very public. Other things are very public. Like my Facebook's not public, so that was even weirder. But like Twitter is very public. And if you say things, yes, there's a chance someone's going to reply to you. But there's a difference between I saw a tweet and I actually have information. I'm trying to be sarcastic. And it comes back to the thinking of how people live their lives in a public way. Because Socks, I don't know if Socks is still in the chat, but we've discussed this where there's a lot of, I feel like I know you. Like people may feel like they know you a lot better than they actually do because they watch you on Twitch. And you're talking about mental health, you're talking about important issues and issues that can get very emotional.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of feeling much closer to a streamer, to a YouTuber, to a celebrity than you really are.
Yeah.
And that's why I think social media plays into that too, because there's some people who let every little thought in their head fly out on the Twitterverse.
Yep. And people eat that shit up too, for what it's worth.
right? And then there are people that are more discerning that, think about what it is. Or like for me, and this is going to sound weird and maybe a little, I don't know, not self-serving, but nothing I say on Twitter is that great or revolutionary. But when I am having those 5 a.m., I'm mad about some shit tweet threads, people act like I have discovered the cure to aging. They tweet it like it's gold, and I'm like, I'm just mad. Like, why? Or when I talk about things like race, and people are like, oh my God, I can't believe that still happens. I'm so sorry. And they're madder about it than I am. And I'm like, okay, cool.
What do you have to say about, because people will say in response to that, like, you have to be patient in order to get patience back. Are you just fucking done being patient? Or
oh my God, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Totally.
That's the end of that conversation.
Oh no, so
no, you know what I mean, yeah.
Why no? I mean, my patience, like, I'm not a patient person. I was born 3 weeks early. I'm not patient at all. But there are times where people want you to hold their hand, and this is, again, can come back to mental health and everything else, where you're talking about whatever, and if they don't understand something, they want you, instead of going to find out themselves and doing the work, let me Google that for you.
Mm-hmm.
They want you to hold their hand, and then they go, well, if you don't explain this to me and you're not nice to me, I won't be an ally and I won't be your friend. And I'm like, deuces.
Yeah.
Have a nice life.
Yep.
But things like that, where those are the people that wear you out, and they wear out your patience, they wear you thin, because it's hard, because there's some people that really don't know and they don't mean anything, and it's hard because you've had 60 people wear your fucking good patience and whatever, etc. out, and then that 61st person who really is sweet and they just don't get it, and maybe they're younger, maybe they just don't have this life experience, they really don't mean anything, but they didn't see those 60 people before them ask the same question or be sarcastic, be rude, be racist, what have you.
Right.
And then if you give them the same response because you're done, you're at your limit, and then they cry and they're like, oh, you're so mean and you're whatever, because that's where I've found a lot of people that don't want to, they jump immediately to black people are racist, which we can't be racist. It's a power structure and dynamic. We don't actually have the power structure to be racist. We can be prejudiced, but not racist. Because some black chick somewhere wouldn't take 5 minutes and explain something they didn't understand, they could have looked up themselves.
Well, you also, I'm gonna add flame to the fire, and I hope it's the right flame, but
we'll see.
We'll find out. But you also have that, like, double, I also feel like as a woman, you're getting double of that, because there are people, again, we're going back to that, like, you're supposed to be patient, can't you, like, take a moment, be my mom, take my hand, and patiently explain to me what it is exactly that I am, that I am not doing correctly, and if you didn't do that, then it's your fault that I didn't understand. It's not my fault, it's yours, because now it's on you that the situation was not exactly perfect for me to chime in.
Right. And and that's hard because there was something I retweeted. It was just a stupid little meme thing, and someone got on their soapbox about a thing that I tweeted that was just a fun little meme. And I was like, why are you doing this? And they're like, well, we're mutuals, I thought it was okay. And I was like, no, because people assume mutual following, knowing each other on social media means we know each other in real life, that you're really my best friend.
Yeah.
That, because I don't know if anyone remembers, a streamer or YouTuber had a fan literally show up on his door. Dude bought a one-way ticket and thought he could stay with his streamer.
Yes! What Katie Manor is talking about is exactly that. It's the idol culture. Most idols are into social media now because it gives their fans a sense that they're available to them 24/7. And then the extreme fans think that means that they're best friends. But that's exactly it. If I see you, if you're on my phone every 5 minutes, why am I to believe that you're doing anything else other than producing shit for me and living your life for me? There's no reason to think otherwise, almost. And especially if, you can't put yourself.
Yeah. Well, and that's the hard part, because, again, to circle back to even how we started this, we're putting ourselves out here as streamers, as content creators, etc. But and people get to know you, like literally you are visiting my living room virtually.
Sure.
And that creates a false sense of intimacy, which is hard because you want to build a community, you want people to feel comfortable, but not too comfortable. And I realize I keep using my hands and you can't see my hands.
I think I am too. I can hear you doing something with your hands, and I'm just
Well, it's
so
like
used to
because
it.
the camera is like
Right,
here,
right, right.
but my hands are here. Um, so it's hard because and Lee Alexander had a great article, and I'll have to dig for it because it's years old at this point, about that false intimacy of online interaction.
Right.
And again, mental health, because if someone is really invested in you and what you're doing, and they have this idea that you're BFFs because they either support your stream, they support your Patreon, they bought you gifts, they've done whatever, and then either you meet them in person, they're weird with you, or there's this weird thing of, oh, we were both at a convention, you couldn't take 5 minutes for me, which, to be fair, if someone's supporting you and giving you gifts, you could spend 5 minutes with them.
Right.
But there's a difference between I support you and be great to finally see you in person, versus what Sim is talking about, where the person feels like they own you.
Yeah, I bought you. Yeah, you're wearing their dog. It's exactly. I bought this thing, therefore you should act this way. And that's, I mean, people do that just all the fucking time about all the different stuff.
But on the flip side, creators need to be careful to not ever feel like they're owed that or they're entitled to that.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
Because a lot of creators, and I'm not even gonna say a lot, I think there's a small number of creators that may let it go to their head.
Yeah. Well, it's really easy to. It's like set up so that it does almost.
Oh, it totally is, because like, oh, look at me, I'm important, I've got this check mark, I've got number of followers, blah blah blah. So it's hard because you want people to be comfortable and enjoy the space that you're creating, but you don't want them to show up with a U-Haul and feel like they can stay there forever.
Yeah. Oh, I like that, Triceratops. Patreon to support, it's not stocks in a person's life. I like that a lot. Thank you, Vicerox, for the cheers. I think your message is a little bit lost, but thank you for the cheers. Someone randomly show up at my house. They'll have a face of an unhappy fart. Yeah, that's exactly it. But
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead. You go.
Well, I think it's hard because that is now an extra level of anxiety that creators have to deal with, because we've now seen someone die from swatting. Being doxxed is a very real threat when you are a content creator, and if you have someone who does feel as if they are closer to you than they really are, and you have to disabuse them of that because they get too close to that line, they get too close to what it is the relationship they think they have with you versus the non-actual relationship they have with you. You have to be worried about that. And that is the thing where it's like, if someone's getting a little too close, and, attractive female presenting streamers have to deal with this a lot more.
Yeah.
I've seen where people think that because you're there, Twitch is not a dating site. I know this is a shock. I know it's a shock. Twitch is not a dating site. It's not Tinder. So Kiza asked, is there a way to protect yourself from swatting? So,
I mean, just hiding your address and everything as much as possible.
Yeah, and there's actually documentation on a panel I would do a lot. I can send you a PDF of it. But basically, Crash Override has a walkthrough of how to find your info online, how to scrub it off. It is very US based. But in other countries, if people use the information they find online this way and put your info out there, it's actually more of a crime in other places than the US. Sorry, my headset is beeping at me, apparently.
Oh, no. Is it running out of juice?
Maybe. I'm just going to plug it in. Hold on one second.
Near Preprademo. I'm writing it down. Crash, can you send that to me? If she sends it over, I will be sure to post it in the Discord. Thank you so much, by the way, for everybody who's joined and all the follows. I do appreciate them so much.
So if you go to Crash Override, there's a walkthrough to how to see what you can find online. Go to whitepages.com. Go to Yellow Pages, just Google yourself, see what comes up. If you've ordered food, if you own property, that information can be found.
Yeah.
because it's a public record when you buy a house or buy a
Yeah.
condo.
Yeah.
If you do any kind of government work, there are certain things that are public record, and it's not a lot you can do about it. But credit cards, things like that. There's a lot of info. Those DNA tests that people do,
Oh yeah, those just hand out your DNA everywhere. And then in addition,
and your
if
information.
yeah, and if your uncle did it, you're already fucked too because your DNA by extension is out there.
Right, or it's not even so much your DNA, but then you can look at those family tree things, and then it will pull up everyone's info. I have one. Some of those accounts will be like, oh, your parents live here, and someone can Google like where your parents live. So just be very careful when you're streaming. Don't give away obvious clues about your address, depending on like how small of a community you live in. Because I don't know if you know Imperial Girl, she was talking about how one time, like, she didn't realize it, but little things comments she made that she never thought about altogether. And like her kids had on their school shirt one day, someone found out exactly where she lived. And they weren't malicious about it, but they literally figured out her address. And it was prior to moving out of that state. But that's a scary thought.
Yeah.
Because the people that decide to SWAT don't think of you as human. You are entertainment to them. They don't care if you live or die.
Yeah.
So just be very mindful of what you say when you are streaming. So if I was very specific about the neighborhood I grew up in, places in my neighborhood, things I'm doing. Granted, I'm a weird outlier because there's probably way more info out there on me than the average person because of things that I've done. My name is tied to my online handle. So I don't have some of those protections. If someone really wanted to do it, they could. The other part is a lot of law enforcement does not understand how online culture works.
Yes.
They don't understand. So I did a panel about this, and one person was talking about like how they went to the police. They had to basically explain what Twitch is, why this is actually a legit threat, and what's to do if they get what's a CCP.
Yeah, wait, I don't know what that is either. I thought you would know.
No, I don't know what a CC.
Yeah. Is that like a cover-up address?
I don't know what that is. Well, you can't just throw that out there and then not explain it.
Yeah, Mythic, what's up? Concealed carry permit? Is that right?
Oh, I'm not a gun person.
Yeah, me neither. That's not happening. I do have weapons in my house, but they are not guns. I don't know.
Yeah, and Illinois is a concealed carry state, but you're not gonna catch my black ass with a gun. It's for the police to say I did it, even if I wind up dead.
Yeah,
so,
that's one of those things. That I'm gonna leave it at that. That's one of those things.
Yeah.
She only has
keyblades.
So you think I'm fucking kidding? You don't come over to my house, but come and try one of these keyblades. They're steel pipes. If I whack you with that, I don't know how fast you're gonna get up. That's all I'm saying. So that's in terms of weapons. Yes, that's the weapon I have. But also, just try me with one of those in my hand. I'm a very clumsy person too. So.
And also, telling someone to get a gun is the worst fucking advice you can give someone, because let's not forget, the police are not going to help black folks. Because remember, we had a case where a police officer went to the wrong apartment, thought it was theirs, shot the dude, and then blamed him for it and said he broke into his own apartment. So it's very bad advice in general, Kesmet.
Okay, got it. So that's where Mythic was coming from.
Okay, cool for you. Again, me, I don't care, because Chicago police have a history of framing black folks, so no thank you.
Yeah. Katie Manor, my ass thought Keyblade was the one from Kingdom Hearts to begin with. It is. I don't know if that's not clear. It is. I have 2 Keyblades in my house. I have Halloween Town and the Kingdom Key, and they're both steel-ass pipes. That's it.
No, I've got actual swords in my house. So Illinois law does permit me to do what I need to do should someone actually get in my apartment.
Swords are good. Swords are great. We used to just have wands in the house, and like I just, as jokingly as we were like, well, we have magic wands. I was like, no. And then we got these. Listen, the Keyblade was a birthday gift, and then I was like, holy shit, these are actual fucking weapons. if you guys order on Amazon, order yourself a Keyblade. They're like $35. You will get a steel pipe in the mail. That's what I'm saying. I thought you meant Keyblade as in using a key in between your fingers when you go to punch. Oh, that's cool. But no, I meant full nerd white girl has Keyblades on her, or like over her mantle kind of situation. I did just get an Amazon gift card.
Oh my god!
Listen,
now we're just people are just like, what do you think about that?
But like it's a weapon and nerdiness. I'm just saying. Oh, those are awesome, Cypher. Those are awesome.
Yeah, and I've got a couple like single ones, but the thing is, even though I've got all these swords, I can't really take them anywhere because
not unless you want to look like somebody out of the Ottoman Empire.
Yes, I do, Don. Well, here's the thing. I would like to carry them around as prop weapons, but they're sharp, so I can't really. And I fly most places.
Yeah, you can't bring them.
So they're too big to put even in a checked bag. So they're lovely display pieces. So,
or knock off your head if you come in and come at me pieces. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
But we should probably stop talking about weapons.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. I'm just saying.
How did we get here? I was like, Cypher, come on. We're gonna do a tight hour. We're gonna do a tight hour in mental health.
No, fuck it. We're just going the whole 2 hours at this point. But we're talking about we got on concealed carry and got on a tangent.
Yeah.
And because we started with
Thank you, that girl Bryce. Thank you so much, honey.
With how to keep yourself safe from swatting.
Yeah.
And make sure other people, like, even though it may be a long visit to the cops, still go in. If someone has threatened you with swatting, or you think someone may do it, or doxing, if someone doxes you, get all the documentation. If possible, get a restraining order, although a lot of times restraining orders are useless because they don't do anything until something happens to you.
Yep.
But at least if you're threatened, you've got a reason to go get one. In my case, I can't get one because the perpetrator's not in this country and they have not made an overt threat. So I don't think they're smart enough or dedicated enough to get on a plane. But if they are and do that, then oh well, there we go. I'm trying to think of what else. Because we've talked about race, we've talked about mental health, we've talked about the ways in which those two intersect.
You got me to ask some questions that have been on my mind, and I want to say I really appreciate your patience with potential silliness, and you responded and you really cleared things up for me, and I appreciate that a bunch.
No problem. I guess depending on what else you would like to talk about, maybe the chat has questions.
Yeah, chat, go on with your questions. If you want to take the moment, Cypher, plug yourself. Like, what's the biggest thing that you want to plug right now while people are asking questions? Ask them.
I will be at South by Southwest for the first time. I'm doing a panel about presenting your truth versus the truth. I'm going to be at PAX East in the Diversity Lounge and panels TBD because panel notifications have not gone out yet.
Nope. But
between panels I've been asked to join and panels I submitted, hopefully some of them will work. I'll be at the Game Developers Conference in San Francisco, giving a roundtable on diversity advocacy, two-part roundtable. And the biggest thing is I am on an official Twitch, official Wizards of the Coast D&D show on Twitch, which is Rivals of Waterdeep, airs Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern, every Sunday for the next 7 weeks. Oh, well, thank you, Bryce.
Aw, Bryce. She said that to me earlier. And I was like, let her know. Yeah. Aw. We could talk about queer. Sure. If you have a question, if you'd like to ask a specific question, I would love, I'm sure we'd love to answer it. Any last thoughts on how streamers can keep their personal lives safe? You go for it first. You probably know more than I do.
I would say just, if you can get a P.O. box, if you're at a point where people want to send you stuff.
And a far enough P.O. box if you're smart. If like you live in a small
access
town.
To one.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm lucky I'm in Chicago. I have multiple options.
Right.
There's a thing called stream gifts. If you can get into that even eliminates the possibility of a P.O. box and someone figuring out where you live. because there is no middleman between the two. Well, they act as kind of a middleman between your Amazon list and you getting it, so that whoever buys it has zero idea of what your address is. They don't know where it's going, anything else. Oh my God, Braun. I'm not Braun. Oh my God. You have to explain why you said that, though.
Is that because that's a panel thing, right? I don't have a question
Yes.
as much as I have that's a panel thing. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Kiza. So yeah, just be mindful of what you say, things in the background. Like there's nothing really in the background that's going to give away where I live. If people come in and start asking you for a lot of personal info, and decide early whether or not people can use your name or not, because that's the thing that comes up
A lot.
often.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like DJ Knight, even though he's known as DJ Knight, people didn't know his name. Like he doesn't talk about his life. He doesn't, like, people that come in and want to ask about his girlfriend, he shuts them down. Like his life is his life. That you can come in, be cool in the stream, etc., but don't come in trying to pry into his personal life.
Kit Boga does the same thing. Yeah.
Who?
Kit Boga, the guy who scams scammers.
Oh,
that guy.
Just use your Twitch handle. I mean, I'm in a position where my real name and Cypheroftyr is tied together to the point where I can't really separate it, sadly. So I'm in that boat, but yeah. But Sky, did you have a question, or you just want to generally talk about it? And I don't know what that other emote is from, Kiza.
Which one? She used a funny emote, or?
Yeah, I don't know what the emote's from. It's one of Daniel the Demon's. Oh, oh my God.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I am. When you typed that after I said I was on the D&D show, so I wasn't sure what that emote was. I follow Daniel, but I'm not subbed because
that costs money.
Well, it costs money, and I had that moment of, oh God, there's so many. I need to actually cut back.
People call me Super IRL, and it's great. A compliment every time. I do. I love it. I've called you Super when we're on shows together, and it's fantastic. I've seen some vids where people have been arrested for FBI raid on a stream. Like, what? Yeah, Katie, totally. Many people with mental health issues are reticent to ask for help, even when in a safe space. Are there any strategies that have helped you get past this issue they'd be willing to share?
I don't know. I'm trying to think, because for a lot of people, pushing folks to talk about mental health issues when they're not ready can push them further back into not talking about it. So I think it's hard. For me, it was like, I got to a point where it's like, I wasn't suicidal, but I just felt like I couldn't keep going like that. I just hit that point of something has to give, and I don't want it to be me.
Yeah. Even when I say, because that's what I have to, I think what I'm going to say is similar to what Cypher just said, which is I have found that if you give people a safe space, they need to talk about, they will eventually come around to it. But if you give them a safe space and then you say, look, this safe space is so safe, look at the safeness of the space, they're going to be like, holy shit, nope, because then they don't feel safe. But if you honestly give them a good, like, if it's somebody who's depressed, often you need to hear over and over again that, like, hey, I care, just letting you know I'm here still. Like, not an overly, like, obnoxious, not a, hey, I'm forcing my attention or myself onto you, just a, hey, I'm here if you need to talk, hey, I'm still here for you, just so you know. Like, if you offer, like, a friendly little reminder that person is not alone, I have found in the long term that's appreciated, especially when that person starts feeling a little bit better, and they are more likely to come and talk to you because you did provide them, like, you did provide them you provided them the space and distance enough that they are able to do that, like, comfortably. So I think that would be my response to that.
Yeah, because it's hard. If someone's not ready and you push them, you're probably going to do more harm than good.
Yeah.
Just letting someone know that you're there for them whenever they are ready is probably more useful than anything else.
Yeah, Triceratops is nailing it. Yeah, and that girl Bryce. They'll reach out when ready, not because space is forced upon. Yeah, Mordo. Yep. Is allowing a container. Oh, that's interesting. I like that. Oh, Katie Manor, thank you so much for stopping by. It was a pleasure to have you here. It was so kind. Thank you for being here and being such a wonderful part of the conversation. Guys, any other questions before we finally let Cypher go? All right, what else? So those are that's what you're on. Have you written anything recently that you need to plug?
No, just the book that I edited, which is Game Devs and Others Tales from the Margins, because I would like a royalty check sometime this month. um, but it's stories, it's 22 chapters of marginalized people in and adjacent to the industry sharing their stories. A lot of people have told me they're using it for their game design and their gaming classrooms. It's on Amazon, it's on CRC. It is, if you buy it, buy the soft cover, do not buy the hard cover. It's the same book without the nice cover and it costs way more. But it's good. I think it's one of those things where you were asking before, like what you can do. Reading the authentic stories of people that have dealt with things in the industry like racism, sexism, homophobia, gender discrimination, if they are gender fluid or non-binary, being the only person of color in their studio. Those are stories that I think are more useful to people than the same bullshit. Oh my God, diversity is great. We should acknowledge brown people exist. Stories you keep seeing over and over.
Yeah. Hey, not very binary, been there. Okay. All right. I do like that. Do you have a book list anywhere by any chance? Like, do you have an Amazon book list?
I have an Amazon author page. Hold on, I will find it while we take questions.
That's really fucking cool.
Well, it's weird. They made one because I'm in the off-world book, but like my story.
Yeah.
The story that I was in there, the story that I wrote for
Fancy. Oh hell yeah, fancy.
And Apex magazine, the issue that I had a story in is in it's showing up on my author page. There we go. Hopefully it won't yell at me for putting a link in.
No, I fixed some settings so that it shouldn't do that. You've been in here long enough. Yay, there it is. Thank you so much. There you go.
Yeah, it's so weird to have an Amazon page.
That is so fucking cool. Dude, it's awesome.
Yeah, it like let me follow and like my own author page. That's really weird.
Oh, that is really weird. Can you imagine if you're like the only one who likes your own page, just sitting there all lonely? How many followers do you have? One. Oh, it's you. That's kind of like how Twitch lets you be your own viewer. You're like, yeah, I mean, I guess I'm watching.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else.
Hi, Serene. Hi, honey. You're right here for the tail end of it.
I don't, Ryan.
It's not easy to like yourself. Damn. Touche, Pain. I mean, you're not fucking wrong.
You ain't wrong.
We were just talking about that. You're not wrong.
Fair, Frennick, fair. But here's the thing, a lot of us don't think our stuff is good.
Yeah.
We're our own worst critics.
One of the first interactions I have with you was you shitting on hold on, you put out some kind of content and you were totally crapping on it and I was like, whoa, hi there, don't crap on yourself, thanks, bye. I don't remember what it was.
I don't know.
You had something else. Yeah.
I am the own. Yes, imposter syndrome. We should talk about that again one day.
Yeah, it's not talked about enough. I just read this article on Medium that I hated so fucking much, and it was called like why you shouldn't hate your imposter syndrome, and and the whole point of it was like embrace it because it'll make you stronger, and I was just like, fuck you. Either you haven't experienced it to like the depth of it, it's an actual syndrome, because it's not in the DSM, it's not like it's not like scientifically qualified somehow, but it is something that's like a serious problem for people that like cripples their lives. It's not, oh, I went into a party and everybody was really rich and I was just like, oh my god, I don't fit in here because I'm not so rich. Like, that's not the fucking same thing as having full-blown imposter syndrome. Yeah, and that's like what that person meant in that article, and so like I just got really angry. Aw, thanks for talking about what you did, Cypher. It's nice to hear another POC on these. Aw, amazing. Well, maybe it was bad content. It might have. Super, I highly doubt it. I know the work that you put into your stuff. If you know somebody who puts in a ton of work into their stuff, even if they didn't make the best article ever, they still deserve a little bit of credit, and be sure to let them know that, like, hey, that wasn't your fucking Mozart masterpiece, but that was still really cool that you made that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. The article would have been better if you clicked why you should embrace your imposter syndrome. The entire article was you fake ass fake bitch, and then touche medium touche. Holds up mirror to Mxiety. Listen, Bryce, I will have none of this. No, we talk about imposter syndrome a lot. So if you would want to come on and just fucking talk about that. Now, all right, my own mods, I will not stand for this. This is
wow. Mutiny. The M is not for mod, it's for mutiny.
Shit. Tells me that I'm just pretending to be human. Okay, Kismet. You get my credit for being here and being aw, Peyton, that's so cute. We're calling you out, lady. All right, I've had enough of this. Show's over. I'll see you guys tomorrow. No, but yeah, I mean, imposter. Today, somebody asked me like what my qualifications were to talk about mental health, and I told them, and my whole brain went, yeah, and it's not enough, and it's not enough, and it's not enough, because I'm not like a psychologist, and I'm not a counselor, and I don't pretend to be in any shape or form. But like my brain was like, you shouldn't even be talking about anything. And then that person responded with, oh, wow, yeah, that definitely qualifies you to talk about this stuff. And I don't know why. I was a complete stranger. I did not need their validation. But like some part of me told me at that exact moment that I, for some reason, fucking did. And then I got validated and I felt kind of good. I was like, oh, a stranger told me. It must mean I shouldn't feel like an imposter. It's funny like that.
Yeah.
All right. I will let Tanya, thank you so much for being here. You're badass.
You're welcome.
It was awesome to have you on. You guys come back tomorrow. We're going to be just talking mental health, just in general. We're going to be talking about self-talk and the difference, just the difference you can make in self-talk. And then we're going to be talking to Lucid on Thursday. So if you haven't hit that follow button, now's the time to do that. If you have not followed Cypher, this is how you could do that. Find whatever platform is your favorite and follow her on there, and then follow her harder on another platform. And then once you're done doing that, be sure to check out all of my stuff. And I'll see you tomorrow, you guys. I'm going to send you off with a host. I love you all so, so much. And don't forget. Oh, yeah. Wait, I usually ask my guests to say that. Do you know about the Be the Light thing?
I don't remember it from last time because I'm terrible.
No, yeah, you're not terrible. It's totally okay. It's the idea is... holy, what the fuck is the be the light idea, you guys? Somebody throw out there you go. When we feel as though no one can give us the love and support and light we need when things are dark, we go out there and set an example by giving that light to others. So I always ask that our guests sign off, and I say, and don't forget, and the guest says, to be the light. And
you totally muted during that whole part, for some reason.
Amazing. So I say, don't forget, and then the guest usually says, to be the light. Somebody clip that.
Oh my God, your mic was like, no, not today.
I love it. All right, good night, everybody. I love you.
Bye.